Welcome to another Sunday WOAY ABC4 Community Forum, where we talk to local leaders and community success stories to discuss important things that are happening here in Southern West Virginia. I'm your host, Brandy Lawrence, and today we're joined by more distinguished guests. Chaplain Kevin McDowell and PR Director Nicole Bostick from Burlington United Methodist Family Services join us today. Thanks so much for coming to the forum.
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. We appreciate this chance to talk.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if anybody has been through Beckley, especially driving down to the mall, you've probably seen Burlington Services right over on the side of the road there. But for the people that are unfamiliar with what you all do, what services do you provide?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that Burlington is actually the largest and most diverse provider of family services in the state of West Virginia. We have everything from treatment campuses, as well as we have Sarah's House, which is a nationally recognized sexual abuse
house. And we also have other programs such as female adult recovery services. And so, we're really proud to offer a wide range of services across the 55 West Virginia counties and in Western Maryland.
Awesome, awesome.
Absolutely. And then we have everything from foster care that can lead to adoption if it goes permanent, or they're reunion back with their families.
Yeah.
And if not, then we have a transitional living situation that helps those foster kids go into the next steps of adulthood. So we really try to take care of all the kids and families that we can.
Absolutely. And it's important work. So, and I know that working with children, especially in situations such as this, where they experience things that no one should have to experience, especially a child, can be difficult. So, thank you all for the work that you do. And for, since this community forum, I like to see how the community can get involved and help out. So is there anything that, people out there that want to help can do to help you guys out?
Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways to get involved. One way is through joining our auxiliary. Our auxiliary does fundraising so that we can provide things for these kids who may not have certain things. And so our auxiliary is for everybody. So we are through the United Methodist Church, and we're proud of that, but we're open to absolutely everyone's help. They say it takes a village to raise a kid, and we have 38 of them. And so, the more help, the merrier. There's other ways, getting involved in our individual programs. There's something for everybody. Our spiritual life program is something that I'm really passionate about, and so it serves to do ministry for our kids on our Beckley and Daniels campuses. And she can talk more about how, Sarah's House, which is our sexual abuse response and help house, and serves kids who have really experienced the worst of humanity in different ways that we can get involved in Staggers, Recovery House, and different things like that.
Absolutely. A lot of the funding, as everybody has heard, has really been cut, especially for the sober living houses. And they need basic these like new undergarments, health and beauty products, feminine products, new clothes. These are people, these women are rebuilding their lives. As well as, this may seem like a weird thing, you can donate items, of course, but you never know what you have laying around could help us, like Legos. Your kids may not be playing with them Legos anymore, they've outgrown them, but we can use those in a therapy-based play. And Legos are expensive, so to get donations of something as simple as that, we've had a gentleman who passed, his family donated all his guitars, and they started a music program. So you never know what you may have laying around that could really help somebody. And then, as always, there's the monetary donations. You can help with donating monthly or a one-time donation. We appreciate any and all help, and you can reach out to myself. I will take your call personally at 304-813-2755, and you can also reach out to Kevin directly.
For any spiritual life matters, anything that our religious sector is wanting to get involved in, or anyone personally. Like I said, we're open to everybody. Reach out to me at 304-813-8531.
Awesome. It's great information.
And I would love to speak at any civic groups or businesses that would like to know how they can help. We definitely are open to any suggestions on fundraising, and we'd love to partner with businesses as well.
And getting the word out. I mean, that's a large part of it,
Absolutely.
I think. And, not too many people know that we're right there on the hill, right? And so they're passing their way on the mall, and they might just pass us up, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that place existed. And so when they hear about it, there's something for everybody that they can get involved in, whether it's someone who's feeling led that they want to help in the spiritual side, or they want to help in female adult recovery services because that's something that they're passionate about, or they want to help with our Sarah's House or our Brenda's House or any of our many programs. There's so much for people to get involved in. So
Our Brenda's House is the only recovery house, or not recovery, I apologize, treatment house that does 5 to 10-year-olds. It's the only one in the state. And like I said in the beginning, people don't realize we are in 22 counties, but we impact all 55 in one way or another with one of our programs.
absolutely.
Absolutely, absolutely. So if anybody does want to donate, like any of those items that you were talking about, feminine hygiene products, clothes, toys, Legos, things like that, do they need to come to Beckley, or do they need to call you first and kind of set up a...
As far as I'm concerned, I will meet anybody anywhere. Like if your office does a donation drive for our women, I will gladly meet you and pick all of those up. But you can also drop them off at our campus in Beckley, or we have an operations office, which I am located, which is on Neville Street. So you can come to one of those locations, or we'll meet you.
Our Beckley location is at 4700 Robert C. Byrd Drive. And so, and you can also call us at 304-252-8508, right? Yeah, 8508.
Awesome, awesome. So you guys out there, you already know Community Forum. We like to see how the community can get involved, how we can help each other out. And you all see us talk to a lot of different nonprofits about things such as this. So if you all are called to help out, Burlington United Methodist Family Services, please get in touch with them. Please stop by, give them a call, whatever you can do to help them out. Like, we got to help each other out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, stay mountain strong. So the stated mission is changing lives by preventing harm and providing hope and healing to hurting children and families, with values that are Christ-centered, client-focused, and mission-driven. How do these core values permeate the organization's daily operations, especially dealing with the kids? Because I know sometimes kids, like, some of them are probably being introduced to, religion and Christ through you, especially as the chaplain. So how does that affect them? And does it, give them a place of solace in that trying time?
Well, and I appreciate that question so much. Whenever someone asks what Burlington does, one of the things that I just feel like is kind of the bread and butter is we serve kids who come from a wide range of backgrounds. And so, they've experienced trauma, they've came from broken homes, and a lot of them have had a run in the juvenile justice system. And so many people are ready to write those kids off. But we don't feel that way. We are a treatment campus, and so we try to provide treatment in everything that we do. We provide all of their needs physically. Of course, they get some good food and a nice place to sleep. And we provide for their education. We have a school on our treatment campuses. And so we've earned the EAGLE accreditation, which is Educational Assessment Guidelines Leading Towards Excellence, which is a very prestigious award that we've received for our education opportunities there. We also serve them with counseling services. And so we have treatment associates all the way up to our therapists who are there on a daily basis working with these kids. And so other places are more punitive in nature, right? And we don't approach it that way because we believe with a little bit of love and discipline, these kids can go a long ways. They're not bad kids at all. And so the other side of it is there's spiritual care. And so I primarily direct that, and we've just seen a revival. We have seen over 30 youth come to the Lord within the past 3.5 months. We've done several baptisms. And we've been starting to get connected with our local churches, some United Methodist churches, Baptist churches, Church of God, so many different people that want to reach out, and individuals who have just said, you know what, I want to get involved. And so we've really enjoyed that, just how God has been moving and blessing our kids. And for them, you know, I've seen a real change in that they walk in, you know, one way, feeling a certain way about adults and the people that have been in their life, and they can leave knowing, hey, I'm loved by God, I'm valued, I matter. And so I love that it's a holistic approach.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that you said that. Not only is it a holistic approach, but also stress that these are not bad kids.
Right.
Sometimes they've just experienced things that a lot of adults can't even cope with. So
Right.
you can't imagine a kid whose
Absolutely.
cognitive functions are still coming together to be able to handle it just with no problems. So please keep that in mind sometimes with kids. Sometimes if they're a little difficult, if they're a little aggressive, or they have things going on, they may have some deeper things going on.
Absolutely. There are no bad kids, I don't believe. Our kids are, you know, you can tell that they're putting in the effort. And you walk in and a kid comes in, you know, failing in school and disrespectful, just struggling with everything, and they leave saying, you know what, I graduated through Burlington. I have prospects to go to college now. I respect the people that were involved with me. I want to follow in a relationship with Christ. There's just so much that, you know, you see that, and sometimes it's immediate, and sometimes you won't see that for a while, but that impact is lasting, it's meaningful.
Absolutely. And sometimes it is a journey. So if any of you all want to help these kids on their journey, especially because I know there are a lot of people out here that love to work with kids.
Yeah.
They love doing this type of work, this type of ministry. So make sure that you get in touch with Burlington about that. And we're about a minute or so out from our first break. But before we go, do you mind plugging that contact information just one more time so people can get in touch with you guys?
Sure. My name's Nicole Bostic, and my personal cell phone number is 304-813-2755. You can get me there, or you can get me by calling the campus at 304-252-8508. 8508.
And my name is Kevin McDowell. I'm the chaplain for Burlington. And if you could give me a call at 304-813-8531.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you guys so much for all this wonderful information that you've given us about Burlington so far for our first half of Community Forum. But you all stay tuned for the next half of Community Forum. We're going to talk more about Burlington United Methodist Family Services and all the wonderful resources they provide to the community, and also how you can help. Forum. I'm here with Chaplain Kevin McDowell and PR Director Nicole Bostic from Burlington United Methodist Family Services, and we're talking about everything that the organization does. Now, we do have a location right in Beckley, but you have like over 20 locations across West Virginia and Western Maryland. How does your leadership and your management coordinate across all these locations to maintain that consistent quality and serve these populations effectively?
We have some of the best leaders you could have. Our CEO, Mia, is fantastic, and our COO, Stephen Smith, also fantastic, and of course Jeremy, who is our CFO. They all are very committed and play an integral part. I mean, they're constantly traveling. They go between all of our locations, and they check in, and they're involved to the point that they could tell you the personal stories of the kids. Sometimes in different organizations you'll find leadership that, you know, they'll be somewhat distant and they're more involved in the business side of things. But of course they take care of those things, but oh my goodness, they have relationships, they're real with the kids. Our CEO just took a young man out for his first steak the other day, you know, and our COO, Steve, he's always talking to the kids and playing and coming up with new ideas for them.
Playing cards with them.
Yeah,
you know, like
they're play games. Yeah.
they're available, and There's 320 employees, and
Yeah.
I would highly doubt that they don't know the name and faces of every one of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're directly responsible for over 400 kids, and they actually take the time to check on and make sure that everyone's taken care of. I mean, it's truly fantastic. So that's more how we coordinate between the different locations, is they'll travel, they'll work, they'll communicate, and they're strong communicators for sure.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful, and it's wonderful that they're so hands-on with the kids, because I feel like in such a leadership position like that, especially in a nonprofit organization such as this, it'll be difficult to not, feel a way or feel connected to, reach out. So wonderful, shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
And then we have, what are some of these successes and insights that you've seen from some of the programs that you all offer?
One of the most impressive things that I've heard recently is Sarah's House has helped prosecute over 700 predators a year. Like 700, and they're nationally, they're nationally recognized. And they're just in a little office in Kaiser, West Virginia, and they are doing amazing things in that space. And that is one of my biggest, when I heard that, I was like, wow, that's...
Our Sarah's House and so many of our different programs are just very integral parts of Burlington. I've had the pleasure to go down to our Staggers House and to see our female adult recovery services. And just one thing that they do is they work with these women to help them to become sober, and then to hopefully regain custody of their children. And then they'll come and live in our facility, and we'll teach them how to parent sober. And so, I mean, that's just been really a joy to go there and to meet some of these ladies and to hear some of their stories.
And some of them come back to work for us.
Yeah, we've had
because they are so impressive with what happened in their life.
Some huge success stories there. And on the spiritual side of things, I mean, the thing is we don't have the kids for the most amount of time ever, right? We don't have a lifetime to just sit there and be there the whole time. Unfortunately, they have to grow and leave us. But in the time that we have them, we try to love on them. We try to help them work through different things that they're struggling with. I had a young man who was 12 years old that came to our Beckley campus, and when he got there, he was really struggling to follow any rules or to do any chores or anything like that. And so, you have to take that extra time, sit down. Hey, here's how you wash dishes. Hey, here's how you would sweep before. Hey, math isn't too hard. We could sit down and do your homework together, right? And so we were spending time together, and whenever I was a treatment associate, and those are the people who are hands-on, the people all day with the kids. Awesome work they do. Very thankful for them. I was working with this young man, and he had several behavioral issues. I started to hear his story, and I would hear him say things to other residents like, at least you have a mom and dad that wants you and loves you. And it just really touched my heart. And, one evening he was having a hard time, and it was bedtime, and, no 12-year-old wants to go to bed on time. And so, he was like, I'm not going. And he sat down on the floor, and he was upset. And I was like, all right. I was like, we're going to talk about it. And so I sat down on the floor with him, and for probably 20 minutes, we just kind of talked. I said, you're such a good kid. I was like, what's going on today? And he looked at me, he was like, I'm not a good kid, is what he started telling me. And I was like, oh my goodness. And after hearing his story, this young man came from a background where his parents lost custody of him because they got into a physical altercation that winded up in him being injured. And so this young man has scars on his feet from where he was caught in the crossfire of a broken home. And so, eventually we were able to, help him get to bed and everything. And before I walked out, I just asked, I was like, can I pray with you? And he said, I don't know how to pray. And I was like, this kid has been in 19 different locations, and Burlington was the first treatment campus that he has ever been to. And pray with him and tell him about a God that loves him, And that's just one part of our program, but it was really impactful for me personally. Whenever he went to leave our campus, he was very tearful. He didn't want to go. And he said, I'm finally able to be good. He was like, but now I have to leave. See, this young man wasn't with us for a super long amount of time, but between the therapy services, between the religious side of things, between the different approaches from our TA and our educators, he was able to come in feeling like he didn't have the ability to be good, like he was bad. And that's something that's fed to these kids. And whenever he left, he was able to feel as though, hey, I have the ability to be the best young man, And so stories like that really keep us going.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it further shows why treatment is so important and that therapy is important, spiritual growth is important. Like even if they don't come out of this, being religious or totally healed, because nobody is totally healed all the time, they feel better about themselves. Yeah. And that means a lot. The way that this child is like, oh, I'm not a good kid. That self-esteem problem, sometimes that's a big problem for all of us. So you can only imagine for a kid.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's wonderful. That's a wonderful thing to hear. So, and as a religious organization of sorts, how do you all engage with like local churches or volunteers or donors to further enhance your services and capacities?
So if people would like to reach out to me personally, I'd love to do speaking engagements. And so I'll come and I'll tell churches about, hey, this is what we do, right? And that's a great opportunity, and going and being able to speak about the different sides of ministry that Burlington is involved in is fantastic. But I want to bring credit a little bit to people who don't necessarily come from that background, because we have a lot of donors and people who, are involved with businesses, that are involved with so many other things, that take the time to actually reach out to people like Nicole. You're wonderful. For things of how to get involved, how to donate, how to take an approach toward helping these young people.
You are not just donating items or money. You're donating to the healing of children and giving them hope and their families. And at the end of the day, what better is there? You're making a difference. And that's huge.
Absolutely. And I know there are a lot of you all out there that want to help the kids, so make sure that you get in touch with them. And a question that I love to ask for Community Forum is that, if money was no object, if there was a wealthy benefactor out there watching right now and it's like, what, I'm moved and I want to give a huge lump sum of money to you guys to help you out. What are some key goals that you would like to help Burlington achieve to further?
I would love for our recovery, Staggers House and Hope Meadows, to be fully funded, for Sarah's house to have the funding that they need to do their jobs. That is so important. And I would love to there be enough foster homes. I would love for, there'd be a place for these kids, a jumping off point where their families can maybe regroup and they can go back home. Right. That's maybe in another sober living home, or just the needs are huge. The list could go on, absolutely. Seriously, the list could go on.
There's so much, and there's a need in so many of our programs. A lot of people might ask us where we get our funding, and some of it's from the state, but a lot of it's from loving donors that are listening. If you want to get involved in the Spiritual Life program, please call me. We want to make it the best program that these kids can have. We want to take them on youth retreats. We want to do amazing things and offer them opportunities that they've not had. I know Nicole is setting up different things for our kids, that will hopefully make a lifetime memory, a core memory for them.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I
mean, Beckley, they're working on doing basically like a beauty and confidence area for the girls there. And, you know, some of those girls have had, their moms didn't even teach them about lotion or, you know, so we're trying to set up a space with comfy chairs and maybe, you know, a esthetician chair, you know, different makeup and blow dryers, like it's simple things like that. We want to create that space for them to kind of, confidence is huge. And, you know, sometimes just, you know as well as I do, sometimes in the morning you just feel a little pretty when you put a little makeup on and do your hair, do your nails. And we want to give that to them. But, you know, that's not something that the state's going to give us funding for.
No, it's not.
That's just one of those projects that we're working on that we want. So, you know, if there's a beautician out there that has a chair and a wash basin that they're not using anymore, give me a call. I'll gladly get it picked up. We'll put it in our room. I'll send you pictures. We'll, you know, we love to acknowledge our sponsors and our donors as well.
Absolutely.
We appreciate them so much because we depend on them so much.
And if there's anyone that is wanting to give, I would encourage you, if you're wanting to give monetarily, to write a check to our address, 4700 Robert C. Byrd Drive in Beckley, West Virginia. And then, you know, write it out to Burlington Family Services. And in the memo section, to write where you want that money and wherever you want that to go to, that's what we designate the money for. If you want to donate to the Spiritual Life Program, please write Beckley Spiritual Life Program. If you want to donate to Stagger's Recovery House, please write that. Brenda's house, Sarah's house, and there's a big need there. So we would greatly appreciate you looking at these other programs that Nicole's been talking about, because there is a big need there.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for joining us for Community Forum, giving us all this wonderful information about what you all do. And thank you guys for joining us this Sunday. Make sure to tune in for our next Sunday Community Forum. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you.
Thank you.